It is the most powerful object in the Bible, a golden chest built to exact divine specifications that killed thousands who touched it incorrectly, that parted rivers, that brought down the walls of Jericho, that caused plagues on entire nations. And then it simply vanished from history. The Ark of the Covenant, the most searched biblical mystery in the world. Governments have searched for it, armies have gone to war over it, and yet its location remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in human history. In Exodus chapter 25, God gave Moses extremely precise instructions. Build a chest of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, 1.5 cubits high. Overlay it inside and out with pure gold. No one was ever to touch the ark directly, not even the priests. But what made the ark truly extraordinary was not just its golden exterior, it was what was inside. 3 sacred objects, the 2 stone tablets containing the 10 Commandments, written by the finger of God himself, a golden jar containing manna, and Aaron's rod, a dead stick that had miraculously budded and produced almonds. 3 physical proofs of God's direct intervention in human history, all contained in one golden chest. The Bible records the ark performing extraordinary acts. When the priest carrying it stepped into the Jordan River, the water stopped flowing. The entire river stood up in a heap. Israel walked across on dry ground. At the Battle of Jericho, the Israelites carried the ark around the city walls for 7 days. On the 7th day, they marched 7 times. The priests blew their trumpets, the people shouted, and the walls of Jericho collapsed. But the ark was also terrifyingly dangerous. The Philistines captured the ark and brought it to Ashdod. Within days, their idol Dagon fell on its face before the ark. Then the people were struck with tumors. Panic spread across 5 Philistine cities. They returned the ark to Israel immediately. But when the men of Beth Shemesh looked inside the ark, 70 of them died instantly. Then a man named Uzzah reached out to steady the ark when it nearly fell. He touched it, and God struck him dead on the spot. King David brought the ark to Jerusalem, and Solomon built the first temple to house it. The ark was placed in the Holy of Holies. Only the high priest could enter, only once a year on the Day of Atonement. Such was the awesome power of what was inside that room. The ark last appears in Scripture around 621 BC, during the reign of King Josiah. Then Babylon invaded. In 586 BC, King Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple and took its treasures to Babylon. But the ark is never mentioned among the treasures taken. It simply disappears from the record. Gone. Never mentioned again in the Old Testament. So where did it go? The first and most widely believed theory is that the ark is in Ethiopia, in a small chapel in the city of Axum, called the Church of Our Lady, Mary of Zion. Ethiopian Christians have claimed for centuries that the Ark of the Covenant is kept there, guarded by a single monk called the Guardian of the Ark, who is appointed for life and can never leave the chapel grounds. He is the only person in the world allowed to see the Ark. The Ethiopian claim traces back to King Solomon. According to the Kebra Nagast, Ethiopia's most sacred ancient text, the Queen of Sheba was Ethiopian. She had a son by Solomon named Menelik. When Menelik visited Jerusalem as a young man, he and his companions secretly switched the ark with a replica and smuggled the real ark to Ethiopia, where it has remained ever since, for almost 3,000 years. The second major theory is that the ark never left Jerusalem, that it was hidden beneath the Temple Mount before the Babylonians arrived. The Jewish Talmud states that King Josiah hid the ark in a secret tunnel, built by King Solomon himself specifically for this purpose. Israeli archaeologist Leon Rittmeyer believes he has identified the exact location where the ark once stood in the Holy of Holies, a rectangular depression cut into the bedrock, exactly the size of the ark. The Ark may be just meters below it, unreachable, because the Temple Mount sits beneath the dome of the rock, sacred to over 1 billion Muslims worldwide. Any excavation would trigger an international crisis. A third theory suggests the Ark was taken to Egypt. When Pharaoh Shishak invaded Jerusalem in 925 BC, British researcher Graham Hancock traced a possible route from Jerusalem through Egypt along the Nile to Ethiopia, and concluded the Ethiopian claim is the most credible theory. Then there is the Knights Templar theory. The Templars excavated beneath the Temple Mount for 9 years. Many researchers believe they found the Ark and transported it to Europe, possibly to Chartres Cathedral in France or Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland, where Templar symbols seem to reference the Ark specifically. Another theory points to the Vatican. Rome sacked Jerusalem in 70 AD and took many of the temple's treasures. These are depicted on the Arch of Titus in Rome, which clearly shows Roman soldiers carrying the temple menorah. Could the Ark have been among the items taken? The Vatican's secret archives contain documents that have never been made public. Some researchers believe the Ark is locked away somewhere in the Vatican. But here is perhaps the most important question. What would happen if the Ark was actually found? Jewish tradition states that when the Ark is recovered, the third temple can be built in Jerusalem. Christian eschatology sees the rebuilding of the temple as a key sign of the end times. Islamic tradition holds the Temple Mount as the third holiest site in Islam. The discovery of the Ark would trigger one of the greatest geopolitical crises in human history, which may be exactly why some powerful people prefer it stays hidden. Some researchers have also tried to explain the Ark scientifically. Could it have been a giant capacitor storing massive amounts of static electricity? The precise gold-lined wooden box construction is remarkably similar to an electrical capacitor, which would explain why touching it was lethal and why only specific carrying procedures were safe. Others suggest the tablets inside may have contained radioactive material, explaining the deaths in the divine glow. Here's a detail that most people miss. When the Jews returned from Babylonian exile and built the Second Temple, the Holy of Holies was empty, no Ark. The Jewish Talmud records that 5 things were missing from the Second Temple. The Ark of the Covenant was the first on that list. The most sacred object in Judaism has been missing for over 2,500 years. In Revelation chapter 11, verse 19, the Apostle John writes, "Then God's temple in heaven was open, and within his temple was seen the Ark of his covenant." This suggests there is a heavenly Ark, an original, of which the earthly Ark was just a copy, a physical representation of something that exists in the very throne room of God. The search for the Ark continues today. In 2008, an Ethiopian patriarch announced that Ethiopia would reveal the Ark to the world. The announcement made global headlines, but the reveal never happened. In 2020, Israeli archaeologists discovered a massive tunnel system beneath the city of David, stretching toward the Temple Mount. Excavations are ongoing, and what they might find has the biblical archaeology world holding its breath. Back in Ethiopia, the Guardian of the Ark has spoken to journalists. In 2009, the then Guardian told the BBC that the Ark was real, that he had seen it, and that it was kept in a special sanctuary. He described it as radiating power, that only he was permitted to approach. He said the world was not ready to see it. Why does the Ark of the Covenant matter so much? Because it was called the mercy seat, the place where God's presence dwelt on earth, where heaven touched earth in a physical, tangible way. The Ark of the Covenant, lost for over 2,500 years. 5 major theories about its location: Ethiopia, beneath Jerusalem, Egypt, the Knights Templar, the Vatican, none confirmed, none disproven. The Temple Mount tunnels are still being excavated. The Ethiopian Guardian still stands watch. The Vatican archives remain sealed. And somewhere in this world, the most powerful object in biblical history may still exist. Waiting. Subscribe to Debart, because next week we go even deeper. And tell me in the comments, where do you think the Ark of the Covenant is right now? Ethiopia, beneath Jerusalem, the Vatican, or somewhere no one has thought to look yet?